We cannot simply put food in our stomach. It has to be clean, safe, and healthy. For food to be secured, it has to be safe. That's our mindset. We always tell them that producing food is a privilege.
These are the foods that we also eat and we also give to our family. So, dapat healthy siya.
We are lucky that we know how to produce food. That is a strength in itself.
The Philippines runs on agriculture. It always has. So it's both jarring and telling that the country has spent decades struggling to feed itself. Enough that in February of 2025, the government declared a food security emergency. Between 2017 and 2019, the Philippines had the highest number of food insecure people in all of Southeast Asia. 59 million Filipinos were living without consistent, reliable access to food. Not occasionally, but routinely.
The causes are layered: a growing population, shrinking resources, and a geography that makes the country one of the most disaster-prone in the world. These same conditions have slowed the country's progress against poverty. Hunger continues to affect millions of Filipino families. And while the Magna Carta for the Poor formally recognized Filipinos' rights to adequate food, decent work, housing, and health, ensuring food security remains one of the country's enduring challenges.
What that framework would need to address is well understood. Food security means food that's available and affordable, safe, varied, and nutritionally sound, produced by a system resilient enough to survive typhoons, droughts, and the long grind of climate change. In 2022, the Philippines ranked 67th out of 113 countries on the Global Food Security Index. That ranking is felt in kitchens and communities across every island in the archipelago. Mike Melendres has never been the kind of person to look at a problem that size and look away. An agriculturist and an entrepreneur who understood early that clean, quality food wasn't a luxury but a necessity. He and his wife Malou founded the Melendres group of companies in 2001 to bring healthy, organic produce and real food solutions to the Filipino table.
Basically, we are into the realm of organic, centered on food safety. I grew up in the farm. Tapos my grandpa and my dad had a certain love for farming or agriculture. So that was my exposure. It started there. 26 years ago, agriculture was not an option for most people. Even dun sa amin, sa batch namin, I think more than half migrated. Kasi walang career that time. Tapos wala ring business opportunities that time. Mas mahirap. Lalo na yung organic. When we were in college kasi, when you take up agriculture that time, what students would learn is more of the technical side in the usage of all kinds of chemicals. That time we had one subject that dealt with organic, but it was still a lot of discussion. Sa naalala ko lang, I was just very excited to graduate. Third year or fourth year college ako, ang nasa isip ko na was how I can go back to the farm and apply what I am learning. I started with a small garden in our farm. It's a 3-hectare farm, but I was allowed to use maybe a 500 square meter land. I lived in the farm. I tried working on our mango trees. So I realized na when you spray chemicals, usually in the morning, malamig pa siya, di ba? Everything is suspended in the atmosphere before yan mag-evaporate towards midday. It's something that we had to deal with. So sabi ko, maybe this is not for me kasi I'm living in the farm. So that was the time when we shifted to organic. Basically, it was just a decision that we don't want unsafe food. Kasi kami din yung kakain eh. And in my college days, it was also part of some discussions. Farmers would keep something for themselves na hindi nila ini-spray because consumers are too choosy. Diba? Hindi sila bibili pag hindi maganda yung itsura. Then, naturally, you have to treat it. Diba? You need to kill pests and everything. The readily available control ay pesticides and insecticides. Yan. I think there was an opportunity in producing something that is safe. Mahaba na yung study that they all cause cancer and all sorts of unexplainable diseases. So, might as well use yung napag-aralan, produce something clean, safe, and healthy.
I got involved with the Melendres Farm when Mike and I became boyfriend and girlfriend. So medyo may love story pa, no? So that was in 2004. My profession is in marketing and I work in a corporate setting. So during that time, Melendres Farm started selling oyster mushrooms in particular, and it was a very small operation. So they started selling sa palengke using an owner-type jeep, yung parang stainless siya. So I don't know, kailangan niyo pang i-search sa Google para makita niyo kung anong itsura niya. So that's what they were using in the past. So talagang mahirap yung struggles, and Mike had to wake up very early in the morning, like 2 a.m. they go to the palengke to sell the products. So that's the way it was during that time. And then there were times before na may encounter ka talaga na hindi rin okay na buyer. At the start, ang sasabihin sa'yo, so ito, meron kang big na corporate client. You plant 2 tons of pechay and we will buy all of your pechay. So, nagtanim naman si Mike. Nagpatanim pa siya sa mga ibang farmers. And then, what happened after? Ay, hindi na pala namin kukunin kasi nakakuha na sila ng mas mura. So, yun naman. Yun yung naging problema. So, Mike had to do all his best para maibenta. Kahit na makapture na lang yung kahit part lang nung na gastos.
In 2008 yan, we were able to, go to the supermarkets. That time, hindi na kaya namin as Melendres Farm lang kasi limited. We only had 1 farm that time. So, we started sourcing from partners. So, that was the first time we engaged other farms. And sharing, dahil agriculturist naman ako, I started sharing what we were doing. Kasi, siyempre, trying to manage all your available resources and the risk. That was how we started expanding. To be able to supply yung supermarkets. Sometime in 2013, we established na yung organic options as the sales and marketing. So, Melendres Farm moved back to its core competency of farming. Then si Organic Options na was the one tasked to partner with other farmers, making use of the production system of Melendres Farm. We started going out. Napunta kami dito sa Nueva Vizcaya to help grow our company creatively kasi we were not blessed with funds. So it was more hard work.
Driven to uplift their farmer partners, the Melendres company started Earthman, an agribusiness solution group that trains farmers to think and operate as entrepreneurs while giving them access to sustainable farm technology.
Actually, nagsimula siya 2016 operations ni Melendres Farms sa Maligco. Then, nakita niya na maraming farmers na malapit doon sa area of operation. So, nag-coordinate kami, nag-conduct kami initial ng trainings, introductory to organic agriculture. Then from then, nagpadala si OOI ng representative na purchasing officer to conduct ng partnership with farmers. So based kay OOI, anong market need niya, nag-trickle down dun sa mga farmers kung ano yung preferred crops nila, mas confident silang itanim, ano yung price points na gusto nila. So doon merong konting coordination with Organic Options. Kami naman on the back end, as Earthman, ini-ensure namin na nag-adhere sila sa Philippine National Standards on Organic. So, binabantayan namin. Every once in a while, pinapasyalan natin yung mga farms nila.
Dito, I think we're getting more than siguro mga 10 tons a week of vegetables here. And growing. Growing siya. Over 6 municipalities. Yan. In total, about between 300 to 500 yung pool namin ng farmers.
Our organic fresh produce, they are farmed in different areas. So we have farms in Antipolo, we have smallholder partner farmers in Maligco, Nueva Vizcaya, and we also have farms in Batangas and Cavite. So what we do is we pick up from these locations towards our warehouse in Antipolo. So why do we pick up? Kasi this is our help for our partner farmers. Hindi lahat sa kanila may kapasidad para magpadala ng produce nila sa Maynila. Kaya yun yung naging role din ng organic options to facilitate yung logistics of the fresh produce.
Kasi ang kaganda naman kasi sa organic, hindi ka matakot kainin. Ganun. Kasi yung iba, iniispira na lang ng malalakas. Wala. Kawawa naman yung kasama nating kakain ng gulay. Kung susubrahan mo siya sa gamot.
Medyo mahirap lang talaga, ma'am. Medyo insekto, marami ang insekto natin. Mga uhod, yung kalaban. Kailangan talagang bantayan.
Okay lang naman, basta sa akin bumalik yung punan, yung gastos, di bala yung pagod, bayaran muna natin yung pagod. Makaantay na natin sa susunod ulit na tanim. Ganun naman ang buhay ng farmer. Sa tagal ko na, hindi pa naman ako sabing sumisirindir. Habang may nagsusuporta, edi okay, walang problema sa akin.
Maganda kasi sa ganyan, may naipok kang savings mo. Hindi kagaya ng sa market na nababayaran agad. Ubus din agad. Dito kasi nakaano ka na may market na mababayaran siya. Tapos isa pa yung trackings, mahirap kasi ang trackings dito. Kailangan pa pong magbayad ng sasakyan bago maipunta sa market. Hindi pag sila na direct na, sila nang nakuha.
Mahalaga talaga na na-motivate natin yung farmers natin na yung assurance na pag may tinanim sila, hindi po masasayang. Dahil yun na lang yung nila yun talaga yung main source ng income nila.
We always tell them that producing food is a privilege. We are lucky that we know how to produce food. That is a strength in itself.
Mike and Malou didn't stop at produce. As their organic line grew and found its way onto supermarket shelves across the country, they began looking at what else the Filipino table needed. That search led them to a partnership with BiotechJP to manufacture pre-cooked rice, bringing convenience and quality together in a single product.
We only partner with businesses that have the same objective, have the same passion. And that is, if you look at BiotechJP, ang gusto rin niya is to give healthy food for more people, for happier families, for happier individuals, so that they can function well, diba? Even if they're sick, they can function better. So, yung vision, even the missions, it's so the same. Kaya nung nakita namin, parang tayo din to
So BiotechJP is a company that's focused on rice. Ngayon lang, dinadagdagan namin siya ng twist because we're into vegetables. With the technology that we have there, we wanted to go deeper on processed products like baby food na safe. Plus, it was our way of entering doon sa rice value chain.
The initial products that we have are rice products na we call it functional foods kasi meron silang purpose that they serve to certain individuals. So for example, Echigo. So Echigo is a low-protein rice. So they're specifically for merong mga chronic kidney disease. Pero meron kaming isang na-discover. Kaya ngayon actually, we are exporting to Slovakia. Yung Europeans, according to our partner in Slovakia, marami sa kanila ay merong phenylketonuria, so they cannot metabolize protein. And Echigo, she said, is a perfect product. Echigo brings them flexibility. And then the next one is called Gohan Light. So it is a white rice, but the calorie is reduced, the carbohydrates is reduced, and it has high fiber. But it's white rice, So, yung sarap ng white rice, makukuha mo for half the calories. And then we also have rice to go. This is a product na wala sa Biotech Japan kasi si Echigo and Gohan are also available in Japan. But rice to go, our chairman, si Kyosada Igawa, is really parang ramdam niya yung yung mga nangyayari sa Pilipinas na there is a need for a product to be available during times of crisis, like may typhoon, may earthquake. So yung rice to go, pwede mo talaga siyang gamitin for those situations kasi ready to eat na siya. Kami personally, when we go camping or we go to the farms yung different farms that we have, we use rice to go kasi para hindi na kami kailangan magluto. And then the other one is Insta Rice. So ito naman para sa mga office people. So ang advantage of the products, of these rice products, is that they're shelf stable, meaning you don't have to put them in the refrigerator. They're already good as they are, and they have a shelf life na 12 months.
Curious about what goes into pre-cooked rice, I asked Mike to walk me through it. He was happy to oblige.
All right, let's have a look at how everything's put together.
Yeah.
You can smell the rice right away.
Yeah.
This facility only produces those products for now.
Yes.
With manufacturing in general, usually each of these machines are very specific in terms of what they do.
Yes.
So currently, what do you have in the setup?
This one is a retort machine.
Okay.
So it's a high temperature, high pressure machine. And it allows us to preserve food by killing 100% of bacteria. And we don't have to put any kind of preservative on the food.
So just the heat alone.
Just the heat, yeah.
Nice.
For all the other products, this is where we steam all the rice.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, because part of the proper cooking would be to steam it. And here is our fermentation room.
So this is a controlled temperature.
Yeah.
How many degrees does it have to be?
When we ferment, it's about 55 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
When we make etchigo and gohan, for etchigo, to remove the proteins, we put it here.
Here, yeah.
We ferment it for a few days. Then after that, we wash it. This is the washing area. So these are the washing equipment. Yes. The rice are all local because that's part of the advocacy.
It's a very far cry from a farm.
Yeah.
After getting a glimpse of how their innovative rice product is made, I wanted to get Mike's insights about the local farming industry and how, when the right mindset is adapted, real change can happen for farmers.
Given how Filipinos eat and what is required to kind of keep the population fed, do you think agriculture in the Philippines should be focusing on commodity farming like rice and corn, or should we be focusing on high value products? Like, what do you think is most important?
For our staple, I think there is a need also to look into commodity products, but how to put in technology and create value-adding products out of it also. Because I think there's a opportunity on that as well. And the commodity products affect a lot of communities. Like in Japan, rice is a commodity, but rice farmers are well off. But at the same time, looking at high-value products gives an option to other farmers to venture into something else. So I think both sides deserve some kind of scoping and a deeper thought. Maybe there's just some kind of specialization that needs to be
needed. Specialization, probably education as well,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In other countries, I mean, France, the US, Japan, like you mentioned, some of these farmers are well off, right?
Yeah.
So what's in the Philippines keeping, from a farmer's perspective, what is kind of like limiting them to actually earn more?
Again, I think it's the disconnect between the farmer and the channels.
To the access to market.
Because from my experience in the past 30 years, market forces are usually stable. I mean, the price is usually stable. It only goes up most of the time. But the erratic behavior of, let's say, the buying prices occur on the production side. It's the farmers who usually take a hit on the final end. There's that problem.
So how do you fix that? Is it
I think
just tools and education in terms of how to plan these things better? Or?
Yes, I think education, better planning, and maybe tools to help farmers to be able to sell it better. I mean, maybe there are what we call conduit enterprises that are willing to work with communities
Consolidators. Yeah.
to consolidate and give them a reasonable part of the pie.
Correct. You haven't just shortened the value chain, you've also shortened the way of selling, right? So this is where you see kind of like how the internet could potentially be the great equalizer in removing so many hands touching the product before it goes to the consumer, right? So how did you navigate when you first started working with Shopee and selling in Shopee? Was it a completely new world to you?
I remember when we started, we had to do everything from scratch. When we started connecting with online platforms who are better established, that created a lot of flow in our system. It's like maybe 25 years ago when we were introducing the idea of organic. Now, the idea of adding online platforms to shorten the chain is it's a quick innovation on how to sell things. With this, because you cut a lot of costs like logistics.
Correct.
It's highly measurable already. We're selling more with Shopee.
What kind of like concrete, actionable tips can you give to, say, maybe a farmer or a producer to be successful on a platform like Shopee?
What I can say is if they want to partner with these online platforms like Shopee, they can do it two ways. Partner with somebody who has the legitimacy to partner with the online platform, or make enough effort, just like any enterprise, to gain some kind of legitimacy so that you'll be able to partner with them also, because it's an open platform. That's why if they can initially partner, then move up towards going directly, that would be an ideal situation, because like us, we're open to bridging partners also.
Bringing quality food to more Filipinos has always been the goal, but also sustaining the farmers behind the food that's being eaten. When the pandemic reshaped how people shopped, Melendres Farms found their answer in Shopee. In 2021, the husband and wife team took their products online, and the question shifted from how to move inventory to how to reach everyone. Through the platform, the farm didn't have to be close.
Yung online started during the pandemic. Though we were present in the supermarket, there were really challenges in mobility. Tapos, during the pandemic, it became an accepted practice to buy online also. So it was also an opportunity for us to sell there, kasi there are certain dynamics or advantages selling online.
So nung una slow start kami, may mga bumibili naman online. Maganda rin naman yung off-take niya. Pero kung makikita mo, meron talaga sila. At saka ang daming questions. Is it true? There are no preservatives. How did you do it? Diba? So, ang dami na lang mga questions. So, we answered them candidly kasi wala kaming itatago eh. Ano lang, patience. And, of course, use of social media. And then, of course, Shopee. Yung Shopee talaga, hindi kami kaagad maka-penetrate. Siguro, dahil nga ibang generation yung mga kasama namin sa organization before. So, when we hired our marketing person, si Phoebe, doon na nag-start. And nakita namin na naging fruitful naman yung mga initiatives that have been done.
Centralize yung processing natin dito. So, all the orders, all the transactions na magagaling from outside, online, and customer side, dito siya nagaganap sa office natin. So, we have several items. We also have finished goods. So, meron kaming mga pre-cooked rice and ready-to-eat merienda, which is champorado and ginataang mais, which we pick up directly from Tarlac. So, yung mga finished goods natin, yun yung mga madalas na order sa Shopee and online stores natin. Once we pick up the stocks from different suppliers, especially from Tarlac, dito na siya mapupunta yung sorting in Antipolo. Tapos, once na na-process siya, ibibigay namin yung details such as the waybill, tsaka yung mga items na isusort, packing list sa aming warehouse. Then once na napack na siya ni warehouse, can be through pick up ng courier or ida-drop off sa courier center.
Nakakatuwa kasi merong bumibili sa amin sa Shopee from Zamboanga, from as far as Isabela, talagang makikita mo siya. Nakakatuwa din na i-share namin yung mga products namin sa kanila na ang layo nung areas. Yun yung isang thankful kami na merong Shopee. Kasi kung kami lang, syempre as a small producer, manufacturer, hindi naman namin kayang ma-reach yung mga lugar na yun. Kaya niyang ma-bridge yung lack of manpower, lack of resources ng mga smaller na mga manufacturers like us. Kaya natutulungan niya kami na makilala across the Philippines. I'm very happy doon sa naging trajectory ng business namin. It started with just one product. And then naging fresh, produce, up to finished product. So parang nafulfill niya yung mga dreams namin. Yung vision, unti-unti siyang nagiging reality. Pero nandun na siya step by step with the partnerships that we have with Shopee, with the new products that we have through BiotechJP, that safe and healthy products will be available to more people. Magkakaroon sila ng access to good food, healthy and safe food.
I just want to enjoy this journey. Even until today, we just move where it will bring us. Parang incidental that we are becoming big, and it's the general atmosphere in our company. Iba kasi yung if the whole objective is just to become big, you'll start chasing growth. To us, growth is just organic also. Again, it's not a conglomerate mindset. It's more of a collaborative mindset. We can only grow so much. It's more of who will be the ones joining us to help continue rather than to think about how big we can be tomorrow. When they want to do something, just do it. Let your journey bring you where you want to go. Huwag ka matakot. Diba? Kasi the challenges will naturally come. You will have to face it if you want to go somewhere. No dull moments. It's been more than 20 years. I'm still excited to visit the farms. Kung kaya ko lang magtanim pa, I still do some planting. Nababago lang yung roles, but the objective is still the same. Pag napagod, tutulog lang. Walang stress. For food to be secured, it has to be safe. That's our mindset. We cannot simply put food in our stomach. It has to be clean, safe, and healthy. That will truly be impactful for everyone.